Hello everybody and welcome back to Tenza Motorsports. There is a lot of talking in today's video, so I'll make the intro real nice and short. Basically what we're doing is recreating some of these headlights with some slightly different colors inside there. We're really excited to show you what's going on. The other thing that we're going to be doing today is putting some Auxito LED bulbs in those. Unfortunately, like I mentioned later on in the video, we won't actually have the headlights in the car today, but we will be doing more follow-up videos and another video on this where we're putting Auxito bulbs inside these ones to increase the output of the high beam even though we've blacked out the cone. So hopefully that helps compensate for that lack of reflectiveness inside that cone now that it's completely black. If you use code TENZA, you can get 15% off your order. We'll have the link to everything we use today down in the description below. So that's the Plasti dip, the halo rings, the new lenses, everything will be down in the description below. You can do this project for around $100. Your real variable is how much you spend on your lenses. A cheap set of lenses can be purchased for $35 a set, and an expensive set of lenses can be almost $100 a piece. So that's really where the variable comes from. For the most part, you can build this for about $100, which is pretty crazy to see how customized you can make your headlights for so inexpensive. Without further ado, we're really excited to show you how to build your own custom headlights similar to these. Let's get started.
All right, so I wasn't gonna record this because we've done several videos on doing demon eyes on the BMW E46 headlight, and just like all those other videos, we are going to be putting LEDs on the inside of the projector lens. Now when we do the demon eyes with the red LEDs, the LEDs are actually pointed up, so they point to the inside. These LEDs here are the same thing, but they have a reflector in there and then this pink along the edge. So as many of you know, this is a women-driven car, so we're going to have lots of pink on the car. This includes the rest of the headlights, which we'll show later on. But for right now, I want to show how we're doing this. So like I said, instead of the LEDs pointing up basically and then kind of giving us a glow, these point straight out. So the downside of that is if you look at the edge of this, there is a bit of a lip. And if you put the LED straight up against this edge here, it points right in that lip, and like only about half the light gets out. One of the biggest things about demon eyes is making sure that it's the right light output. If it's not strong enough, it won't show up at all. So all those ones you see at like O'Reilly's, AutoZone, those will not be bright enough. The ones at Walmart that I have been using, Alpine or whatever it is, the Max ones, those are really good. But it's hard to buy things online because you have no idea what they're gonna be like until you get them. And when it comes to this kind of stuff, like LEDs and doing things like this, I want to see it in person before I buy it. I don't want to just randomly buy something and have to send it back and then buy no more stuff and send it back. And oftentimes places don't give you return shipping for free. You have to pay to return it. So these were advertised, and I'll have the link to these in the description below, as super, super bright. Is because there's that lip there, I need to bring this LED up off the edge. If you look here, there's dots. There's a dot there, a dot there, a dot there. This means that you can trim this down. If you cut on that line, you can trim this down in inches, which is really cool because a lot of these don't go by inches. Some of them go by several inches. Well, unfortunately, that leaves this slightly too long for one and slightly too short for the other one. So I've got to make sure that it perfectly fits in there as a circle. And everything that we do, because we're sitting it out from the edge, everything you do will be able to be seen from the front. So I've got to be really careful to make sure that this is exactly how we want it, because if not, you're going to be down looking at the car and it'll look funny. Now, this actually ends up being a little bit of an angel eye because you can see the pink on the inside. It's just the very edge of this will have pink on it. I'm trying not to touch it right now because I've been bending these wires a lot and the solder joints are pretty cheap. So you'll want to be careful with that. That's why I've got my hot glue gun over here. We're going to be setting this where we want it and then putting some hot glue in there to hold it in place, and hopefully don't have any issues. If I do, I've got more here, and then this comes in like a 3-foot section and we only need like 6 inches of it or whatever. So there's going to be more in here as well. This is the other package. So I've got one for each side, and that's where the leads come from. Technically you could buy one of these and cut it like this and then add your own wires, but I just didn't want to do that. And where these are like $6 a piece, it's just not worth it. So hopefully this stays together, but let's show what this looks like real quick, how bright it is. Let's see if I can't get my hand out of the way. So there we go. That is bright enough. And this is with a single 9-volt. So obviously it is slightly brighter. But if we go like this, you can kind of get an idea. You see how you can see that line, the LED going through there? That'll actually be on the edge all the way around this. So I'm excited for this, but I'm also kind of nervous to make sure that doesn't break that connection there and that we get this exactly perfectly centered.
All right, so now that we have the halo rings installed and all the pink done, we're getting really close to being able to Plasti dip them. Now we are going to be blacking these out. This is a topic of controversy and discussion. Yes, it greatly diminishes your high beams. Now, we are going to be putting some Auxito LED bulbs in here. We have had them on the channel before. I'll have the link to those in the description below. And if you use code Tenza when you go to checkout, you can actually get 15% off your order. So that should help the light output of this high beam, even though we're blacking it out. And then the projector lens here should stay roughly the same. I know that on the 330 race car that has exact same things done to it, the projector lens works just fine, and I've actually tilted those up slightly, not enough to make oncoming traffic upset, but I've tilted up the projector lenses just enough to try to compensate for the high beams being much less bright due to blacking them out. And at some point, we're gonna get some Auxito bulbs in there as well. We're very happy with Auxito so far. I wanna basically have them in every position of the car that's not a xenon bulb. So here it is. One thing before we paint this is I did do a lot of double back tape when I did these halo rings. I do not like just clipping them on and having them hang there. I don't like that at all. And I'm not sure what it is, but I purchased halo rings for the xenons, and the rings I got were like small. So you can see here, it's like, it doesn't quite go all the way to the edge. And so this halo ring is actually being stuck by the side, and this one's being stuck by the back. And then this one here, just kind of in the middle, floating in between this section, between the inner and outer section of this cone. So a little bit weird, because if we go over here to mine, that's not the way it is. These are much bigger. And I'm not sure if I bought non-xenon ones here, and so they were really big, but I don't run that plastic piece on the inside of the headlight. So these ones are going to be slightly bigger around. If you look, mine actually take up that whole surface. So back over to these headlights, mine run all the way along this edge. So you can just run double back tape on the back side. So not quite sure what that is. If these were too much smaller than this, I probably wouldn't have kept them on there like this. I probably would have sent them back and gotten the different ones. So I'm not sure if I got sent the wrong ones here and the right ones there, or if I just accidentally ordered the wrong ones there and I should have ordered the same ones here. I can't seem to decide which ones they are, but I'll have the links to both of these in the description below. The smaller ones supposedly are for the xenon, and the ones that are slightly bigger, I think, are for the non-xenons. But if you're not gonna run this plastic piece that runs inside, like I don't on the race car, I would get the bigger rings. One of the reasons I don't run that piece is because you don't really notice that it's not in there. It makes it a lot more clean, and you can run these big halo rings like I've got here. These are probably about another 1.5 inches across than the ones on this other set of headlights. So I'm not super worried about them. They're just gonna be super bright. These are iJDM Toy halo rings, and I've been very happy with my set, and that's why I bought another set. These have actually gone down in price. I think I paid like 55 or 60 bucks for mine, and these were like 50 bucks. So pretty crazy with everything going up in price that these have actually gone down in price. One other thing is, when I was mounting these, you have to be really careful about putting double back tape on the chrome, because it'll stick to the chrome and then the chrome will pop off. So I actually took
rubbing alcohol and went around this and took the chrome off. And that's why you can see into it. If you're not going to be doing Plasti dip, then you'll want to be really careful to only remove the chrome back behind here where you're putting your double back tape. If you are going to be using Plasti dip to black your headlights out, then it doesn't really matter too much. And even if you don't want to do your high beam, you can still black out this cone here around this. So I'm going to clean this up because I've been touching it with my fingers. And then I'm going to be painting this. I'm going to be covering these up. And then I'm not actually going to be covering the rings. It's Plasti dip, so we'll spray it on there, and then we'll just peel it off of the rings shy of this part up here. I try to keep that part black. So yeah, pretty excited to see the full transformation on these headlights.
All right, everybody, thanks so much for watching. We are beyond happy with the way that this has turned out. It's basically the headlights that I got on my 330 Ci race car, but with a pink LED and some pink stripes in there. That's the only difference. Now, we did talk earlier about the ring sizes, and I think, like I said earlier, that one of these is designed for the Xenon and one's designed for non-Xenon. It's better to do whichever one's larger. I think it's the ones that are non-Xenon. I can't say for sure because I need to have both sets in my hands to look at them side by side, but whichever rings end up being larger. So thanks everybody so much for watching. Really happy with the way that this has turned out. I don't have the rings hooked up, so I can't really show them off here, but we're very excited to get this on the car. And unfortunately in today's video, we aren't going to be able to see them on the car. That will be happening later on. The front of the car is still completely torn apart. We really appreciate everybody for watching. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down in the comment section below. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Tenza_Motorsports. Make sure to like today's video if you enjoy this type of content. Subscribe if you are new, and we will see everybody in the next video.
Bam!